Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cleansing with Chorus, a channel quite literally named Cleansing with Chorus because you are quite literally cleansing with me. We are going to talk about things that I'm doing right now. And today, more specifically, we are going to talk about the Grape Cure. This is a test. It's a test run. I am very curious about this. It is actually after the book, The Grape Cure by Johanna Brandt, written in the 1920s, by the way. I love the pure, unadulterated research of this time period. So Johanna, today we're actually going to talk about what the Grape Cure is in a nutshell. We're not going to go into details, but it's on a high level. What is the Grape Cure? The Grape Cure schedule that is recommended, and my test run, because before you go into anything, you've got to dip your toe into it. And I needed to know a little bit more about what this actually entailed. And then we're gonna go into my overall experience with it, because this is now day 3. I'm not actually in the Grape Cure anymore. I wanted to do a 2-day test run, and there's been some developments. I'm a fan, by the way. I'm a fan, and this is definitely doable. So, but I'll go through it. So we're gonna go over what the Grape Cure is, the Grape Cure schedule, the ins and outs of my test run, and my overall experience, okay? So what is the Grape Cure? And I'm just going to read just an excerpt from her book. And this is on page 9 of my edition. It says, a method that may cure cancer, may cure almost any other disease. What is more, it may prevent cancer and almost every other disease. Johanna set out to the US in the 1920s to bring the Grape Cure to the United States. She used it to cure her own cancer and was dead set on bringing it to the US, where we were becoming disease-ridden at the time. Good on her, and it took her a long time to kind of get a foothold, and I don't believe she was fully appreciated for her work in her day, we'll say. But she is definitely onto something. She cured her own cancer, and she came here to cure cancer, right? She wanted to bring the Grape Cure to the US to cure cancer. I love this, because then the excerpt that says a method that can cure cancer can cure any disease. I agree, and I'm going to take that one step further. Her purpose was to cure cancer, and made a note that she believed that anything that could cure cancer could cure any disease. I agree. I fully agree. My purpose, and what I'm setting out to do, slowly but surely setting out to do, is I believe that any method that is able to decongest is able to cure disease and prevent disease. So the Grape Cure is a sure method through the science, is a sure method of decongesting the body. I believe these things can be linked, and she is on the money. Absolutely can cure cancer and any other disease in the body, which is exciting to me and why I'm interested in it. So I needed to know a little bit more about this. I needed to experience it. But first, what is the Grape Cure schedule? So, basically what this is you are eating nothing but grapes and grape juice for the duration of this Grape Cure. The Grape Cure is something that you set out to do to cure disease. I guess more or less what I'm doing at this point in time is a grape flush, because there is not an identified disease that I have that I am curing necessarily. However, it is understood that the longer that you cleanse, the deeper into the tissue cells that you get. And so what may not be discovered now or obvious now, I believe that it is potentially possible that through a grape flush or an extended grape flush into maybe 10, 14, 21, 30 days, that latent disease will come out, will come through. And so that is not something that's not a concept that is foreign to me. I do understand that the deeper I cleanse, the more likely that I will go in and out of these ebbs and flows where that deep, congested, toxic matter that is deeply rooted in my body from, say, medications and all those things that I took through my life that I no longer partake in, this is gonna stir it up. So it's gonna come out and it needs to be eliminated. That's not to say that I'm gonna jump back into, the diet or whatever, like I'll stop doing it. It simply means that I've unlocked or unlodged layers of toxic matter that has been congested and congealed in my body that is finally releasing. And in this respect, I lean forward. And through the process of all the cleansing that I have done, I've made it my best practice to lean in versus run away as I did in the beginning, because I learned. So anyway, so it's a scheduled feeding, right? So we're gonna get back to the feeding. So it's a scheduled feeding of grapes and grape juice. And raisins, if you will, but I didn't do raisins today. But it's the grape sugar that's in the grapes. In its most reduced form, it is grape sugar. All fruits reduce to grape sugar in organic chemistry. And it is that grape sugar that eats away and decongests the body. So going right to the source is what Johanna's saying. And I love this, right? I love this. And so let's go right to the source. So we're eating grapes and having pure grape juice, okay? Now, her feedings are scheduled between every 2 hours. It's every 2 hours. So say they start at 7 a.m., then your last feeding will be at, say, 7 p.m., 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, and 7. So you'll have 7 feedings in a day, okay? Each feeding will be a single source. So it is grapes, exclusively grapes, or it is juice, but you're not mixing the two. Grapes or grape juice. Or raisins, hydrated, dehydrated raisins, but we're gonna stick strictly to what I did today. Grapes and grape juice. Not only that, but a single source of grapes. So while she recommends using a variety of grapes in your grape flush, your grape cure, because there are different elements to each type of grape, and it's good to get all of the things, right? So, from all of them. So to have a variety, and also so that you have that novelty, which in a day, I recognize that was really important, and I'll get into that in a second. Okay, so it's like a single type of grapes and juice. And then every 2 hours, you can decide what that's gonna be for you, but you stick to one, okay? And then you can eat up to a pound of grapes in a single feeding. A pound of grapes in a single feeding. It is said that if you eat any more than a pound of grapes, that you need to wait longer than 2 hours. You will wait possibly 3 hours to eat, because your stomach really does need time to digest and become empty again before you feed it again. And the purpose of every 2 hours is that consistent flow of decongesting live material that is continuously and slowly and gently in the beginning, detoxing and kind of chewing away at that the congestion that's throughout your entire body. So wherever wherever your food is taken to digest and eliminate in the body, that is where this goes. And so wherever it feeds, right, your nourishment is even in your blood. And so blood flows to every aspect and every corner of your body, hopefully, to every corner of your body. And so it's being that nourishment is being sent there, and that decongestion is also possible. So it's not just in your alimentary canal, but there definitely your stomach, your large intestine, your small intestine. But this stuff is actually being processed through your liver and through your kidneys. So we're decongesting all of the major elimination organs and your major detoxification organs and your blood, and just depending on how much time you actually give these things to start working. And so that is really cool, and it's a natural food source. So it's not like you're going to a Rise and Shine and getting their mucoid plaque cleanse, which we all know I love, but this is a natural food source, and so you can actually just purchase these things. However, I'm going to strongly recommend that you get your colon cleaned, and through a mucoid plaque cleanse, through Rise and Shine, you will absolutely accomplish that, and that will minimize the immediate effects of releasing all sorts of stagnant decongestion in an unclean body that has not really cleansed before. You want to make sure that is out, because if you've not cleansed and you've not prepped for this, if you've not prepared yourself or your body, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna feel sick. You're gonna feel awful. You're gonna feel fucking terrible. And so you just want to get it together, get a game plan together, get that alimentary canal cleaned, get your digestive system completely cleaned, all the way from your tongue, down your esophagus, through your stomach, small intestine, all like 22 to 26 feet of it, and then 5 to, 8 feet of or 4 to 8 feet of your large intestine. You want to get all of it cleaned out because it's foul in there. If you've not cleaned it, it's foul. And so you just want to make sure you're ready for this, okay? That's a fair warning. We'll move on. Okay, so it is feedings every 2 hours, up to 1 pound of grapes. And she also suggests that when you do the grape juice, that it is suggested that it's 4 ounces and 4 ounces. So there's a 4 to 4 ratio of 4 ounces of pure grape juice and 4 ounces of cool water. Purified, clean water. And you want to mix those together. Okay. Test run. I needed a test run. I needed to dip my toe into this experience and figure out some details, because there are some different moving parts here, and we'll get into that. So what kind of grapes am I going to use for the grape cure? What kind of grape juice am I going to use for the grape cure? My feeding schedule, what's that gonna look like? Am I gonna be able to do this while I'm at work? Or do I have to take off work? How do I feel? How do I feel while I'm on this? What am I experiencing on day 1? Because if this is what I'm experiencing on day 1, then you definitely gotta know about it. You gotta know about it. And then I can only imagine what it could look like for others. So I want to be able to make sure that I'm preparing myself mentally and considering all those little details. And then also the cost. What is this going to cost me to do this? Because, what is it going to cost? Okay. So what kind of grapes? So Brandt actually says any kind of grapes. Bernard Jenson, Dr. Bernard Jenson, he's one of my favorites, and also from the 1920s, just recently passed away. His research is going to live far, far beyond him, and he's one of my absolute favorites. So I'm going to talk about him too, just for a minute. So Jenson says in his Grape Flush that seeded grapes. And when I first got a taste of just like a little bit of insight into, he just briefly introduces it in one of his books, maybe like talks about it. It's like a passage like this big, and I was like, yes, I want to do that. And then here it is, like, I don't know, like 2 years later, and I'm finally in a state where I'm ready to do this. So there we go. But he says seeded grapes, and you want to chew the grapes. You want to chew the grapes and chew the seeds because there's tartaric acid around that seed that helps to break down and eliminate congestion. So it's also one of those things where if you are not as clean as, say, if you haven't, it can make you feel bad, because it quite literally like speeds up the rate of decongestion, right? Because of that acid that you're eating and that you're chewing, like you're really chewing them well. He says not to eat all of them. It doesn't matter. So we're not going to go there. But those are some helpful tips. He said not to eat all of them, or any of them if you're not clean, all of that thing. But he just said it in like a paragraph like this big. Anyway, he said seeded grapes. And then Brandt actually, with all of her extensive research, has said, she started out with just grapes, seeded grapes, and then moved to table grapes. She said table grapes, seedless grapes. I kind of think those are one and the same. I'm not quite sure. I need to look into it. But seedless grapes, table grapes, seeded grapes, and then of course she moved into raisins and grape juice and raisins. So, what kind of grapes did I choose? I wanted a variety because I had to seek out seedless grapes, okay? I had to seek out seedless grapes, not seedless grapes, seeded grapes, because I had never, ever seen seeded grapes before, ever. And so I actually went through Ash Tree of Eden. I bookmarked this like a year ago. When I couldn't get them through Whole Foods, I called Whole Foods and tried to get them to source them for me, and they were unable to do it. And so I thought, okay, they could get seeded grapes. They weren't able to get organic seeded grapes, and that's a big one for me, organic. No pesticides, no chemicals, non-GMO. This is important stuff, okay? Your body's got to know what to do with the nutrition that you're feeding it, or it is not nutrition. I'll move on. Okay, so I went through Ash Tree of Eden. That's ASH, Ash Tree of Eden. And they had seeded grapes, organic seeded grapes. And then, so that's these, actually. I ordered 4 pounds of them. That's these. So it doesn't say what type, like, you know, sometimes you can get green and black and red. Like, it doesn't say what type. I think that it quite literally is what they can get and what's in season. And this is December. It is not, or it was November, not in season. Definitely not. So I kind of understood that, and I just expected them to send me a really good quality seeded grape. $10 a pound, $10 a pound. And I ordered 4 pounds of them just for this test run, okay? And I'm actually gonna, well, we'll do this. And then I got the red table grapes. The red table grapes are not staying on the vine right now for the life of them. I mean, it's not grape season. It's just not grape season. So I went to Whole Foods and I got organic. Oops, I got organic. These are seedless, but I kind of thought they were kind of table grapes too. I really got to check and see what those are. So red seedless grapes, and then black seedless grapes. Nice and big, organic, of course, all of them, washed and ready to go. So those are the 3 types of grapes that I chose. Okay, one of the things I really want to show you is the inside of these guys. So seeded grapes. I had never had a seeded grape before. And if you haven't, this is going to be interesting to you. Yay. They are so juicy and so full of flavor. It is awesome. It's not like biting into the black seedless grape that you can find in a grocery store that I'm sure is I mean, it's just mass produced. Let's not kid ourselves. If it's from a grocery store, it is a mass produced thing. That's why we get a farmer's market. It's small batch type of crop. Do you hear how crisp that is? Still very refreshing. Still very refreshing. So if we look inside, this might not be the best example. Refreshing, but very, very crisp. These are soft and just full of juice, and you can really see the fiber and all the things. And on the inside, I'm really gonna get a red one because I want you to see. Seedless, no, or seeded. And do you see this? Seeded. So you absolutely can eat these. Seeded grapes. Like 4 grapes, 4 seeds per grape. It's so cool. It is so cool. 4 seeds per grape. Right? 4 seeds per grape. And it leaves a small cavity on the inside of the grape. Well, maybe there were 5 in this one. At least a small cavity on the inside of the grape where the seeds surrounded it. Full of flavor and the seeds, okay? So at first I was like, seeds, and I was just gonna chew them, like just chew around them. These seeds are not hard, they're soft. These are seeds that are meant to be eaten and swallowed. I then was talking to someone, one of my nurses at the hospital, and they said that there are grapes, and you must be careful because each grape is not created equal and the seeds are not the same. So sometimes it actually is a seeded grape that is chewable, like chew on it, chew around it, kind of get like in it, but you don't swallow it because it's like a cherry pit. So you need to be careful, okay? You need to be careful. I didn't know that. That's kind of exciting to me because that kind of brings me back to Jenson and what he said. I'm like, it's like a nut. I will definitely chew all around it, get that tartaric acid, and then spit it out, not swallow it. These, on the other hand, I did actually swallow. So the night before I started, I ate a couple because I wanted to kind of give myself a heads up of what it was gonna look like or what it would be like. It is so wild. So since I've been like holding these, I'm just gonna put this here and I'm just gonna show you. It's like, it's totally worthy. Full of flavor, juicy. Enjoy it, enjoy it. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Totally chewable, not bitter, really substantial. They actually made me quite full. Really good grapes, okay? Really good grapes. The seeds stuck to it again. I'm eating them. Anyway, really good grapes. Really glad I had a variety of them. Okay, juice. What juice did I go with? Organic, I want pure. I'm not messing about. Lakewood. Lakewood, organic, pure Concord grape. This is delicious, and you can buy it by the case. It's 32 ounces. You can buy it by the case, and it's $10 a bottle, and shipping is free. And so I got 2 6-bottle cases of it, and that's $60 a pop, free shipping, and it arrived like right away. Okay? So, and it's delicious. It's delicious. It's delicious. It's like the best stuff I've ever had. Okay, so that's the grape juice that I went with. 32 ounces. These are the grape varieties that I went with. Now, my feeding schedule. I went ahead and did every 2 hours, okay? Every 2 hours, and then I alternated between juice, first thing in the morning. So I started out with juice, and then I went to grapes, and I went juice, grapes, juice, grapes, and I'll go into that in a little bit. Juice, grapes, juice, grapes. Then, let's see, and let's go with, so that would be 64 ounces of juice and 2 pounds of grapes that I went through. But I'm not really gonna go into that because, anyway. Okay, and then am I able to do this while I'm working? Absolutely, I am. Absolutely, I am. the only things that I learned from this are that, not the only things, but the things that I definitely earmarked for this were that I needed to set timers to make sure that I was on track. And then also that I'm pre-portioning my feedings. So I had my grapes pre-portioned, a pound, a pound, a pound, a pound. I just had enough. And then I had my grape juice, but I had the grape juice in the bottle. So I was just like, gulp, 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 which is easy. I did not dilute this time. No, I did not. I just went for it. Okay. Yeah, I just went for it. And I'll get to that. Okay. All right. So, and how do I feel? Okay. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I felt like on that day. On the day one of the grape cure, and also while I was working. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of transition into like what happened afterwards, because it's quite amazing to me. I'm kind of loving this. Okay. How do I feel? At 7 a.m., I had my juice. I had 16 ounces of pure grape juice. Okay, I had 16 ounces. Now she recommended, 4 and 4. You know what? Let's backtrack. Okay, so I had been super clean and cleansing, and I ordered these grapes to do this experiment pre-Thanksgiving. I ordered these grapes on the 14th of November. It says 3 to 5 business days to deliver. I thought, wonderful. I will get these. I'll pay your $11.99 standard shipping to get these grapes and experiment, right? So I wanted to feel what this was like. So place the order on the 14th. Little do I know that these bitches ship my order on the 22nd, 2 days before Thanksgiving. They don't arrive until the 27th. Okay? That's 9 days from the time that I placed the order to the time that I received them, and after Thanksgiving, which I kinda had Thanksgiving dinner, I had sweets, this would have been ideal to have before Thanksgiving. I had it after Thanksgiving. And then plus 4 days of enjoying Thanksgiving after Thanksgiving. Okay? So my body was not fasted, still hungry, and just really in a position where it's like, all right, I got to get back on track. I got to get my shit together. And I've got these grapes that are now 9 days, or I guess from the 22nd to the 30th. The 30th is when I did this. So now I've had them for 3 days and they are ripening. Like, so I'm coming up against a deadline here. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, I got to do this and I got to do it. So like, I'll fast for a day and then we'll have the grape cure. I'll get my shit together. And this will be the way that I do it. So that's the background, okay? That's the background. All right, so I would prefer to done it pre-holiday. I did it post-holiday. So I was hungry. So we're talking about my schedule, and I'm hungry. And you're gonna see it come out in my feedings. I was hungry, and so I'm gonna do the grape cure, but I'm hungry. So I've also gotta satisfy that. So my portions are maxed out, like they're large. Relative to what I intend for the grapes to be. Anyway, so 16 ounces of pure grape juice, not diluted, but 16 ounces of pure grape juice. Gulp, 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 half the bottle. That's a feeding. That's what I had at 7 a.m. I'm feeling good. I'm light on my feet. I'm energized. People are asking me what I'm on. And I'm like, you know what? I really want to give this credit to the grape cure, but this is just me. You know that, you've seen me, but we worked together before. Like, you just get on board with it and just revel in all the goodness of the good energy, right? It's just me. So, but I'm feeling good. I'm not hungry. I'm not thinking about anything else that I want to eat. Like, I feel good. Great. Let's just ride this wave of energy, right? So then 9 a.m., 7 a.m., that's feeding 1, and I have 16 ounces of pure Concord grape juice. 9 a.m., I go for seeded grapes, and I'm eating the seeds. I'm loving it, and I have a pound. I eat a full pound of these grapes, and I'm like, nom, 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 and I'm satisfied. I find these, and I eat grapes a lot, like I do. I love grapes, and I think that I have an affinity for them, and I've kind of grown a larger affinity for them because of, the various research. The various people that I read and I trust, my trusted sources, my mentors, my trusted sources, they speak very highly of grapes and the grape sugar and that organic chemistry and all of those things. And and just little by little, I've just realized that on an empty stomach, I will always have grapes, and I will use those grapes, and they'll be nourishing my body, and they're good for me. So I've started to eat grapes. So I eat grapes. I carry big bags of grapes sometimes. In my lunchbox, and I'll just keep them out, and I'm just gonna I'll grab them, and that will be my snack because I don't want to eat a bunch of crap. And grapes are moreish, right? Anyway, so grapes. So I can eat a lot of grapes. This was a pound. I ate the pound, satisfied, totally satisfied. And like, not in a I've had a pound of grapes kind of way. It's like I'm satiated and I'm satisfied. It's a significant difference. So yeah, satisfied and satiated, wonderful. So that's the 9 a.m. feeding, and then I go to I was hungry at so now it's 11. Yeah, and then actually while I was eating the grapes, I was eating the grapes, and then I found myself eating half a grape and then pouring the grape seeds out because, even those were just a little bit too much for me. So I would eat some and then eat some of the seeds and then just pour some of them out. And they're very easy to just pour out. You can and then not. So you can kind of gauge how you feel, but it's only grapes, right? It's grapes. It's grape juice, it's water, it's only grapes. So at 11, I was hungry and I took juice, 16 ounces, I finished my first bottle, and my appetite went away and I'm still feeling good. 1:30, I kind of got off track, carried away with the day, got off schedule, and it was time for grapes. And I was feeling a little nauseous. I was feeling a little nauseous. After the grape juice. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm kind of putting myself back there. I was feeling a little nauseous after the grape juice, and then So when it was time for grapes, I decided I was gonna go with the red table grapes, the variety. I went with variety. And I went with red table grapes. And they were lighter, they were sweeter. I wasn't consuming any of the seeds. And they definitely satisfied me, met my feeding requirements, and I was not nauseous afterwards. So this is what I mean by it's good to have the different variety in it, okay? The variety. Then we get to, now it's 4. So 4. I went with my juice and I had 16 ounces of juice. I was not hungry for it, but I had 16 ounces of juice. Come 6 p.m., I had 8 ounces of juice. I decided I would forego the grapes for juice. And I just had 8 ounces of juice. At 8 p.m., I had 8 ounces of juice. Finishing that second bottle for the day, I had 2 pounds of grapes. I had 2 bottles, 64 ounces of grape juice, And I just was not feeling well at this point. I felt like I was not feeling well. Like that was a little bit too much for me. So this is actually one of those lessons that I learned. It could be really important to dilute your grape juice. And I feel like that would have fed me in a different way. Diluting it, bringing water into the equation, because I was sipping my water, but I was really getting my hydration through the grape juice. But it was also making me feel nauseous kind of throughout the end of the day. So I think it's important that we dilute the grape juice, at least in the beginning. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. So what did I learn from this? And as far as cost goes, we really just got to look into this. It's like, what are my feedings going to look? You hear like all of the variables that are into this. It's like, hey, what are the what's the cost of your grape juice? It's $10 a bottle, free shipping, and it ships right away. Then you got these fantastic seeded grapes and from Ash Tree of Eden, and it took 9 days to get them to me, and then expedited like a rush of having to consume them. So if we're gonna do this, it may behoove me to pay the 50 bucks from their website to get them next day shipped, and I'll be ordering, I don't know, 10 days at a time, and so like 10 days, that'd be 40. 4 pounds a day, 40 pounds of grapes. You see how that adds up, and we just expedite that shipping. So it would justify, if I'm buying that many grapes, it would behoove me to just pay for that expedited shipping and get it next day. They say free shipping after you spend like $100 or something like that. But I wouldn't want to wait and have an unknown arrival date or delivery date for something scheduled, like something important like a flush, right? So timing is really important. So mission accomplished. What did I learn? My mission accomplished. I was able to dip my toe in the water of the grape cure or a grape flush, kind of got a feel for what that schedule would look like. And then what I would be in for when I go into this again. Now, I won't go right into a grape cure or a grape flush, maybe like a 10-day grape flush. Maybe that's the next part that I go. I don't know. So that's kind of where I may be headed. It's like maybe a 10-day max kind of thing. But I'll know what I'm kind of in for, and I'll get my feet wet in this again before I go into an extended type of thing. This is definitely a learning curve, and I don't know anybody else that cleanses like I do, so I gotta do all the research myself, which is fine by me since it's firsthand knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, mission accomplished. I got a feel for what's going on. 2, I need to set timers for my feeds. So that if I'm working, or if I'm not working, I am on schedule. Enough said. I think it's important. Enough said. Okay. 3, I'm gonna weigh out and measure my feeds. And when it comes to, like I did with my grapes, like I'm gonna get the Renfo. I think I'm gonna get the Renfo. I love Renfo. I got their scale, I have their tape measure, and I think I'm gonna get their food scale because I wanna know exactly how many grapes I'm gonna be eating, or 1 pound. So I will use it to measure my food. And that way things can get real specific and scientific, which I love numbers. And then with my juice, I am going to dilute juice next time. So I will do, I don't know, maybe like if I want to have 16 ounces of juice, or maybe if I want to drink like tons of this, I don't know. I think that I will dilute half of this bottle. So I'll pour half of this out, water, so that this is diluted. Then my feedings can be half a bottle, and that way it's easy to transport. I'm not like taking all my juice mugs like I always do. I have 4 16-ounce ball mugs that I bring to work with me every day from like my fresh juice. And so I don't want to do that with this. At this point, I kind of like the idea of just drinking the bottle, and it represents. People don't have to ask me what I'm drinking. They will just know. So I think I'll dilute half the bottle, and then have these portioned out. That way I'm getting, my feedings will be 8 ounces and 8 ounces, or roughly, like that's kind of the idea. 4, I want to be cleansed and fasted. I want to experience what this looks like before I had like Thanksgiving. Of all holidays, Thanksgiving. So I'd like to feel what this feels like after Thanksgiving. I want to be hungry for the grapes. I want to be hungry for so maybe like a quick mucoid plaque to make sure that all that like maybe fresh congestion or fresh mucus that's like, from the acidic foods that I've, eaten since the last time. I just want to make sure that I'm thoroughly just fresh, and that way my body is primed to just like absorb and utilize and break down and digest, and then also disperse all of the goodness, the grape, all the stuff into all the areas of my body so that it just, and it can get right to work is what I'm saying. I want the grapes to get right to work, and I want to give them the best possible chance of doing their business and getting their mission accomplished, like in the time that I'm doing it. And then I can get right to work as well. Okay, so then 5, factor in your delivery times, your cost benefits that guarantee your delivery. We already went into that. 6, I need to take a closer look at the numbers and then decide like what that budget is going to look like. We said 40 pounds a day, that's $40 a day, times what? 10 days for my next, that's going to be like $400, and then $450 with shipping for next day shipping. That's $450. If I'm going to do only these seeded grapes, as we've decided, or I kind of got a feel for. Other types of grapes, a variety is important, and they're less harsh, like because I was feeling nauseous, and so maybe we'll cut that out by half. And when we execute the 10-day flush, the 10-day grape flush, maybe then that will be cut down by 10, and then that's like 200, and then you got like your however many bottles of juice we have, $60 for $10 a bottle. If we go through 2 bottles a day, so there's like. We'll just get into the numbers and figure that out. And then I'll have like a budget, like an actual like number for my next flush. And then I'll be able to kind of work with other people with the numbers that they have with their budget or with, their timeline and all of those things. Like I have insight into all of that now. So that's part of the learning process and part of what I love about what I do. Okay. I definitely don't want to be post-holiday. And not ready for a cleanse. So by the end of the first day, that day on the 30th, I was like, I don't feel like cleansing. I don't feel like fasting right now. I want food. It wasn't like really that I want food. It was like, no, it was kind of like I want food, like the idea of food. I wasn't hungry. It's like the idea of food. I was just like, I just don't want to fast. I just don't want to flush right now. And I've eaten, I didn't eat all the grapes, but I'm like, let's be honest, it wasn't even about the grapes. I have plenty of grapes. But it was like, I just don't want to flush. I didn't really feel like it. And so that was kind of the end of that day, right? I just don't feel like it. That was kind of my resolve. And then I sleep. My sleep is profoundly deep. And I slept all night. It was like a restful sleep. Lately, I've been getting up to sleep eat. So like I'll have carrots or I'll have fruit cut up in my refrigerator. I've just been getting up to sleep eat. I don't really know what that's about, but I have been doing that. Someone at work gave me, not at work, one of my patients actually had someone send him cookies from a small batch bakery in Ohio called Cheryl's Cookies. And it was like a box of like 30 cookies. And he said he had more on the way and really wanted me to pick out one. And there was a variety, and I was like, ooh, I would like this. It was actually like a gingerbread one with cream topping. And then I was like, ooh, mint chocolate chip, yeah. So then I went back and I exchanged it. And then, so I had that with me. And I was like, there's no way that I'm not gonna wake up and eat that cookie tonight. I put it on my bedside table because I figured I would definitely get up to eat that cookie. I slept through the whole night. I had no desire to eat it. None. No, I did wake up and I drank grape juice. That's what I wanted, grape juice. I didn't even think about this cookie. And then I saw it the next day and I was like, interesting, very interesting. And then the next day came around and interesting. I did not wake up last night to eat that cookie. It's just interesting to me. My enemas the next morning. So we eliminate, right? We eliminate, we eat, we eliminate, we eat, we eliminate. I chewed, so enema, my water enema, what I eliminated looked almost like powdered poop, like after you have Colasan, and that magnesium oxide just like through your alimentary canal, through your digestive system, through your intestines, and just like pulverizes and knocks stuff off your walls of your intestine, and just like and then like powdered poop, mission accomplished, powdered poop, until it's just powder that just sinks to the bottom of your toilet and it's all clear, but it's just powdered congestion, right? So I love Colasan, that's another time, we'll save that for another time. But this is what that looked like. It was dark liquid because it's grapes, right? But powder, and that spoke to me. I'm like, wonderful. And it wasn't like I chewed my seeds well enough, and I know that because I didn't see whole seeds floating around. I didn't see skins of the grapes floating around undigested or unprocessed because I chewed them well enough. So I'm masticating and chewing, and that's the beginning of digestion. You've got to chew your food thoroughly. I took the time to chew my grapes thoroughly. I took my time when I was eating a pound of them, so that's a lot, right? That's the maximum amount for a feed. After my holiday, I was just maxing out my feeds. But you slow it down. I still slowed it down. While I ate it, I still slowed it down enough to chew the seeds and chew the skins so they were not undigested on the other side. It was all powder. So I thought, excellent. Way to go, girl. Way to go. You did good. And then that also allows for things to get to work. So that powdered elimination tells me that I allowed the grapes to get to work right away. And then the health of the amount and the health of the elimination also tells me that the 2 hour is a good time schedule. So I won't get into that, but like that's what that tells me. So those were a little bit of notes. And then all I've had on day 2, yesterday, all I wanted, because I was like, I don't want to fast, I don't want to flush, all I wanted was grape juice. I fasted all day yesterday. I was not hungry, and I had 2 bottles of grape juice. It was just like maybe like 4 feedings, and it's like, and I was satiated, satisfied. That's all I wanted. So Brandt also says that when you are on this, if you don't force feed, although every 2 hours is ideal, if the appetite's not there, you don't force feed a sick patient. You don't force feed yourself, ever. You don't force feed a sick patient out of the good intentions that you have to, you've got to eat to keep up your strength. You've got to eat to No, if they don't want it, they don't want it. But when they are hungry, it is grape juice. It is grapes. That's it. Alternating, right? And if they're too sick to, lift their head, or if they're too weak, then you just spoon feed them a spoon or 2 of pure grape juice at a time. Okay? When they're ready to physically eat grapes themselves, they will. Until then, grape juice, right? Okay, and last night I was not intending to still flush. I was not intending to still, but I am really satisfied on these grapes. And so last night I was like, okay, so I have to have dinner. I feel like I'm getting emotional, like, I don't know, I gotta have dinner. And I was only setting out to do this for 2 days anyway. Really decided after one I didn't want to do it, and then happened to just extend that into the second day because of how good I felt and how I only wanted grape juice. So there was that. I got out carrots, I got out cucumbers, I got out like 4 different types of hummuses that I was trying out from Whole Foods because I haven't made my own hummus in a minute. So like I got out those, and like I had 1 cucumber, with a little bit of harasa. It's something new. It's like tomato. I don't know. And I put it all away. Grabbed my grape juice, had some grape juice, and I was done. And I'm like, this is quite awesome and extraordinary. Great. So it's awesome. I feel great. And so finally, I juice anyway, like I was saying, and I juice. It's my coffee. I have, more often than not, I have 64 ounces of juice a day. Normally, every day. It's usually 32 ounces of fresh vegetable juice and then 32 ounces of a certain fruit juice. I usually do apples. I'm obsessed with apple juice, fresh juiced apple juice. I fucking love it. And it's something that I got in the habit of when I was doing because of all of the liver flushes that I do. I used to just save up that time. I would only have my fresh apple juice when it was time to flush, and then I'm like, fuck it, like I love apple juice and I have the resources to do this, so I'm gonna juice fresh apple juice. So that's what I do. And so 32 ounces of fresh apple juice in 2 16-ounce containers, and I usually go every other one. So it's like vegetable juice first thing in the morning. Lately I've been on carrot. I'm about to do beets and celery and carrot and some apple and some lemon in it. Because I need to replenish my alkaline mineral reserves. My fingers are starting to pop, and so that's an indication to me that I need to get on my juice cocktail, or my beet cocktail, my alkaline mineral cocktail. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that and prepare that for the next couple of days. So I juice anyway, okay? So the point is, I'm going to start replacing, for the time being, because of how much I am enjoying this grape juice, I'm gonna juice my 2 16-ounce, 32 ounces of fresh vegetable juice, but I'm also gonna do, and I'm just gonna do 16 and 16, and my juice, instead of it being apple, I'm gonna do grape juice. Because let me kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm experiencing right now, okay? I feel great, right? I feel great. I kind of look great. My eyes are kind of glowing. Like, I mean, you can just tell when someone feels good, you can just tell they're feeling good naturally from the inside out. So awesome. I have no unnatural cravings for foods. This is awesome. It's almost pathological how we, and I'm not even going to say just Americans, because that's fucking old school. Our world is structured around food, and our entire world, unless you cannot afford to eat, and even if you can, I'm not even gonna say that, even if you can afford to eat, you're eating, okay, let's just get back on track. We overeat as a society, as a world, as a people, as a human people, we overeat, and we are programmed, it's pathological in us. Right? We have unnatural food cravings. You just ate and now you want to eat more. I know that's because you just ate the wrong food. Like, I know that you just ate, you didn't have sustenance in that food. But we are programmed to eat. We just want to eat. And if it's not physiological, it's a mental thing. And we have to have it. We have to have it. It's pathological. It is an illness. But to get back on track, I don't feel like I need to eat. I'm not overly fixated on food at all. I'm actually living out here versus living here and wanting to consume. I don't want to just consume. And that's telling. So I have no unnatural food cravings. I'm not overeating. I'm satiated and satisfied all the time. I still have this in my house day 3, and this is not something that usually survives in my house ever. And I love it. I mean, I love this stuff, but I'm like, as I'm holding it, and one of my nurses actually says to me, she went in, this is her favorite. I'm like, that's mine. She has more. She says it's the best cookie she's ever had. The best cookie she's ever had. And she self-identifies as a snob about that kind of stuff. Like, she knows her shit when it comes to cookies and mint chocolate chip. And she broke it down like buttercream, and it's not like, she broke it down, and the cookie is soft and supple, and it's like with the chunks, and it's like heaven. She says the best cookie she's ever had, and it is still in my hands. And I haven't given it away, but it is still in my hands. So, and my sweet cravings. So that my sweet cravings are like non-existent. I think I'm onto something. Beyond curing disease and, well, disease. It's all a disease. Like I was just explaining, it's pathological. There's something here with that. And I am fucking excited about that. And so I'm so glad that I was able to share that with you. I have definitely enjoyed this video. I have enjoyed this so much. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've watched it all the way through, hell to the yeah, because you've got some really good information and you kind of see where I'm going with this. And so this is just the beginning. And of course my information will become more clear and organized, but for now, this has been extremely lucrative for me. This has been very telling and this has been a great experience. And I've just loved this so much. And so I was really looking forward to sharing this with you guys. And so I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I am actually now on Facebook and YouTube. I don't really know what I'm doing with both of you yet. However, I did realize after I first launched my YouTube channel, Cleansing with Chorus, because you are cleansing with me, as I'm cleansing, I report what I'm doing. That's the point. It's cleansing with me. It's not just me like saying, hey, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, and just throwing a bunch of information at you. You actually get to see me go through this. This is my life. And you get to see how I evolve. When I'm feeling bad, you get to see I'm feeling bad. When I'm feeling good, you get to see I'm feeling good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. You know? And I think that that's an important part of actually building that trust and really seeing how it affects someone, you know? And so yeah, you get to see it in real time. And then I found out that like on Facebook, you can kind of post printed and like other types of content. And until I learn how to use YouTube, like I know how to use Facebook anymore, but like with my 0 subscribers on both of my channels, this place is like my oyster right now. It's my oyster. YouTube, Facebook, it's my oyster because literally nobody's watching. So until, well, you know what? And by the time people do start watching, you know, and even after, I'm just going to continue to have fun with this. And when it stops being fun, that's when you know that I'm not going to be posting because I don't want to do this if it's not fun. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth my mind. It's not worth that. But I do have a vision. I do have there's this whole vision. I'm not going to get too caught up in the details of it. And this is just the beginning. So it's really kind of exciting. And I don't know anything, but I am going to keep sharing and on both places. So if you do subscribe here, you can find me on Facebook at Cleansing with Chorus. I'm not on Instagram because I don't know how to use Instagram. So you can find me at both these places, and then of course my email is there as well. And you can also leave comments below. I don't know if I'm notified of that, but hopefully I am. And you can also engage with me on Facebook as well. I think that I get notifications quicker there. So anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. You can always save it, share it with other people, and start that conversation, because it's a conversation worth having. Thank you. Have a great day.